brother Sheik 7 Islam Mill. This is Let's Think Podcast.
Right.
First, I want to rise in the spirit of 7, giving all thanks and perfect praises to Allah. Highest honors to his holy prophet. Honors to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Honors to all the officials, past, present, and future. Honors to all membership. Honors to all administration. And honors to all who are participating in this comprehensive program of uplifting fallen humanity. I'm your brother, Sheik 7 Islam Islam. And we have our brother, our esteemed guest, our brother, Sharif Anael-Bey.
Islam.
Yes, sir.
Praise Allah. It's great to be back, bro. I mean, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, but we back at it. We back to it,
yes,
bro.
Sir. Yes, sir. But you know what we do, brother. We wait for the perfect time. We're patient.
There you go, brother.
Patient, you know.
There you go.
And I know one's been waiting on Let's Think Podcast, and and I apologize for anybody or any inconveniences that we have, caused. But know this. Everything that we do it for the betterment of the people.
Come on, brother.
Not just for me, not just for him, and not just for you. Not just for you. We do it for the betterment of the people. So I hope and I pray that everybody can understand where we're coming from and why we're taking this time before doing this show. Awareness Daily. Islam. Peace.
Yes, sir.
My brother. Yo, super sticker for $1.99.
Praise the Lord.
We appreciate you, brother. Beloved, we appreciate you. Yes. And so, brother, let me touch on this conversation, right?
Please do.
Because this book has been out for a minute.
Yes, it has.
And let me say this. Your name has been used.
Yes, sir.
For this particular book, as if you co-signed everything that was in the book. But let me say this. I'm your brother, right?
Absolutely, brother. That's right.
I can speak for you, right?
For sure.
My brother does not agree.
That's right.
With everything in this book.
That's right.
Now, do we say it's things that we do agree with? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's right. Absolutely.
Because history is the best, teacher. So when it comes to history that we can show forth and prove and, gain documentation and put things in perspective and context, this, when it's that, we can stand on it. But when it's not,
there you go. We have to have courage for truth. First, I want to follow in the footsteps of my brother and rise giving praise to Allah. Honest to the last prophet in these days, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Savior of humanity. Jesus come again. Honest to the Moorish Science Temple of America. All leadership, past, present, future, national, state, local. I want to give a special honor to Let's Think Podcast to the creator and host, my brother here. I want to give a special honor to all the listeners and all seekers after truth. Now, to my brother's point, what took place, and we're going to get into it in a little more detail. What took place years ago when Jacob Dorman first wrote the book and was looking to promote the book? Of course, he wants an endorsement from members in the movement. Now, what it ended up happening is that he learned of us through the premier scholar on the outside of the movement on conversionist Islam in America, which would include the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that man's name is Patrick Bowen of the University of Colorado.
Yeah.
Patrick Bowen and our research team and think tank Ali's Men. Shout out to Ali's Men, by the way.
Shout out to Ali's Men.
Yes, sir. Our research team encountered way over a decade ago Patrick Bowen's work on Abdul Hamid Suleiman and the origins of Old Canaanite Temple. He wrote a paper on it. We debunked the paper successfully. And that is what forged the relationship, the continuous and ongoing relationship between Ali's men and Patrick Bowen. Patrick Bowen unabashedly asserts that it was his connection to Ali's men that made him the premier scholar in scholarly publications on the Moorish movement. We've been cited in numerous of his publishings as a result. So, but anyway, Jacob Dorman heard of Ali's men through Patrick Bowen. So what he did is he sought an audience with us to get us to give a critique of the book, and with hopes that we would endorse the book. That's what took place. That's what took place. And we'll get into more detail, later on in the show as to what happened, the results, and our critique of the work. But go ahead, brother. I just wanted to say that really quick.
So, brother, being that you said what you just said, right?
Yes, sir.
Being that you said what you just said, I read the book.
Yes. Yes.
There were many flaws.
Absolutely.
Not just one.
Right.
Not just two.
Right.
Many flaws.
Right.
The entire narrative of the particular book is based upon a fallacy.
Of course.
I will say that.
Of course. I would agree. I would agree.
And I know there are objective readers.
Yes. Yes.
But at the end of the day, one thing I do say, and I will say, and I don't care who cares to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
The prophet of Allah.
Yes, sir.
Is not to be played with.
No.
Not to be mishandled.
That's a fact.
So, with that being said,
yes, sir.
When you mention the prophet, Noble Jew Ali,
yes,
the prophet of Allah, put some respect on his name.
Actual fact, brother. That's
and
right.
Don't play with his name.
Yeah,
we don't need fairy tales, myths, and things of that particular nature to substantiate our prophet.
Right. Right.
Period.
This is
and I can stand on that.
This is the truth, brother.
We can erase the myths.
Correct. Correct.
So
now, go ahead. Continue. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
So my stance,
yes, sir,
is this: Mr. Jacob Dorman, and I'm speaking to Mr. Jacob Dorman.
Right.
I don't even know if I respect your work. But one thing I can do,
yes,
is say that you found your niche.
Right.
Your niche.
Right.
You did. You found your niche.
Right.
But guess what we will do? We straighten out all crooked lines tonight.
That's a fact, brother. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So if it's a crooked line in your demonstration, us as Moorish American Muslims going to speak tonight.
There you go.
We will no longer allow any of you to tell our narrative.
That's fact, brother.
No longer. It stops tonight.
That's fact.
And I had an announcement, and I was going to save it for the end, but
yes, sir.
I'll give it now. It stops for all of you too.
How about that?
It stops for all of you too. So guess what? Let's Think Podcast will welcome healthy debates. Yeah.
Actual fact, brother.
That's what we're doing. We're welcoming healthy debates.
That's right.
We're not doing the WWE and the whatever entertainment you're doing. We're bringing healthy debates, scholarship, scholastics.
That's the truth.
And guess what? You can come and get it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Prophet Noble Ali said it like this: Moors are men, upright, fearless, and independent.
Yes, sir.
He also said more is active and not passive.
Yes, sir.
So, he said, take your place in the affairs of men, right?
Yes, sir.
That means come outside with the demonstration.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come outside.
Yes, sir. Yeah, come outside.
Yeah,
What you
come
gonna
outside.
do?
Right.
Because guess what? Evidently, Patrick Dorman tried to come outside.
It's all right. But you know what? Let me just say this, right? Praise Allah for that. Praise Allah for Patrick Dorman or Jacob Dorman. I'm sorry, Jacob Dorman. Praise Allah for Jacob Dorman and him writing this book. Why? Because without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
this
sir.
is providing us an opportunity. You see?
Yes,
For the
sir.
longest time, the Moorish question has never really been asked.
And what question is that?
Well, what I mean by the Moorish question is, let me put it this way, a better way. The Moorish conversation is mum's the word, right? Find all and honest to these people. Tons of information about the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and praise Allah for that. Tons of information about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and praise Allah for that. But when it comes to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's mum's the word. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
It really, really, really is, and there's a reason for that. But now, part of the reason for that is us as members of the movement at a particular point in time falling asleep on the job. In other words, we ceased to be active and became passive.
Yes,
See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We ceased to be the actor and became the thing acted upon.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
Oh. Thing acted upon. Boy, that's a degree.
Come on, brother. See?
That's
so ain't that something?
Yes. Yes. Because see, when you acted upon, guess what that means? Guess what that means? You're subjected to someone else's actions.
Straight like that, brother. And that speaks to your point. For too long, others outside the organization have been telling our story.
That stops tonight.
You see what I'm saying?
That stops
Prophet
tonight.
Noble Drew Ali, praise Allah for Let's Think podcast. Praise Allah for New York Perspective. You see what I'm saying? Praise Allah for the Moorish Science Civil of America Incorporated media team. Why? Prophet Noble Drew Ali said in the Moorish God newspaper in 1928, he said, our own press, i.e. media, is our greatest weapon. Why is it our greatest weapon? Because we are in a war of narratives. See?
Yes,
We're in a war of narratives. The old timers used to say the world is wrong and the prophet is right.
But is that not true right now?
Absolutely. The whole world wants to say the whole world wants to say there's a nation of people in America that are this color.
And none of us are.
See that?
Look at me and you.
Thank you, brother. You see what I'm saying? The world is wrong and the prophet is right.
And he's been right. See, that was the problem. He was right then.
Right. Right.
He was right then.
Exactly.
Right now.
That's right.
And one thing I can say is this.
Mm-hmm.
If it had not been for the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America,
yes,
and I cannot forget the intervention of my leadership, Brother L. Portisel,
right,
I would not be here.
Praise the Lord.
There would be no Let's Think podcast. No Sheikh 7 Islam there.
See,
there would be no me in front of this camera.
How about
so
that?
I give honors to every leader, past, present, that has kept these doors open and made it possible for me to stand here right now and say that I'm Sheikh 7 Islam, no matter who you are.
Praise Allah.
Praise Islam.
Islam, brother. That's a fact. Bro. So let's
jump right into it. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's jump into this. So, Patrick Bowen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Patrick Bowen gonna get mad at me. He's gonna get mad at me for
Yeah. I know he gonna get mad, but he know what we doing.
For sure.
He know what's going on.
All right, so Jacob Dorman.
Yes, sir.
Right? I'll begin. Let's can you pull up that screen, brother, for his page, his website? See, we're gonna actually go right to his website talking about the book to address these issues. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.
It's not hard at all, brother.
Nah, it's not hard. It's not hard.
We can do it right quick. Let me get right in here. And my brother sent me the demonstration.
Yes, sir.
Jacob Dorman website. We got it right here.
Praise the Lord.
Boom. So we'll come back. Hit present the screen. And let's get right to it.
Get right to it.
Get right to it. Let's share the screen. Let's share. Yeah. Screen guard. I want to share the screen. Yeah. Oh, yep. No photo got it. Let's go.
All right.
Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
So we'll begin by reading his narrative that he has here. He says, for centuries, Americans idealized and romanticized the religion whose name means peace, drawing upon Orientalist images from the Arabian Nights and the magical mystique of the Mystic East for illustrations from the Princess and the Prophet documenting the American infatuation with Islam. Scroll down.
Whoa.
For primary sources documenting the life of Noble Drew Ali, the man who founded not just the quote-unquote black Muslims, but the first Muslim mass movement in America. Click here. All right. There's a couple things. Don't even go any further, brother. There's a couple things we have to analyze here. First and foremost, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, right, said, he taught us, if I can get you to think, you can save yourselves. He also taught us that man is a thought of Allah. A thought. He said a prophet is a thought of Allah. An angel is a thought of Allah. It stands to reason that the Moorish Science Temple of America is also a thought of Allah. And it is a thought organization that's teaching us how to think.
Yes, sir.
How to think. So we can listen. We can deduce a wealth of information about not just our subject, Jacob Dorman, from reading that brief paragraph, but we can deduce a whole bunch about his intention.
Yes, sir.
Watch this simple thing. He begins this paragraph. Now, mind you, this is on his website about the book. He begins it with what word?
Islam.
He ends it with what word? Here's
Peace.
my question.
Peace.
Who's he really talking to? You get it?
Yeah.
Who is he really trying to address primarily?
Yeah.
He's really trying to address members of the Prophet's movement.
Right.
Which means that's who he wants to influence. Say it again, brother.
Islam and peace.
See that?
Yes.
Which now, what else can we deduce from this? He's studied our customs, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
All right. See?
For sure.
See that?
For sure.
All right, let's continue.
And allow me to say this.
Please, yes.
Being that he used this word drawn on the Orientalist image, you have read the Prophet's work.
Oh, but here's the other part too, Mo. I'm going to get to that. He says, for centuries, Americans idealized and romanticized the religion whose name means peace, drawing on Orientalist images from the Arabian Nights and the magical mystique of the Mystic East. Let's stop right there.
Let's stop.
Okay, he generalizes when he says Americans here. He's talking about the Orientalist movement, yes, and he's talking about there was a point in time, a period in time in American history where Europeans idealized and romanticized about Islam. Okay?
Which
That's
gave way
what he's
to a lot of
talking,
your,
brother.
which
That's what
gave
he's
way
talking,
to a lot of your Islamic mystery schools.
brother. I'm gonna pull up something. As we're talking, right?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. This is what he's speaking about. I'm about to tell you all in a hot second what he's speaking about. Hold on. Give me a hot second. First American. I'm Googling it right now. Convert to Islam. He's speaking about a man named Alexander Russell Webb. Alexander Russell Webb was an American writer and a publisher, and at one point was the United States Consul to the Philippines. He was one of the earliest European Americans to convert to Islam. Now, this is going to be very significant to you, dear brother. Alexander Russell Webb was a theosophist. All right. Okay.
Whoa.
So it was not just a mere follow me. It was not just a mere, wow, European fascination with Orientalism and Islam. No. He knew exactly what he was doing, dear brother.
Yes, sir.
He was a member of the Theosophical Society.
Yes, sir.
So what does that tell you? It wasn't just this, what the West sees today as an exoteric Islam. What did he see about Islam, dear brother? Being a theosophist. He saw a brand and an expression of Islam that was connected to the old world. You know, and I know that the present Western esoteric, magical, and occult revival is nothing more than European appropriation and custodianship of old medieval Islamic discoveries and social and scientific progression. You know that, and I know that.
That's a fact.
All right. So it's no mystery that this theosophist, this European who was a theosophist, embraced Islam. So we're not going to do this whole, they were just fascinated and romanticized about Islam. Nah, it wasn't that simple. Although that was happening in general, right? That was happening. But we're not going to trivialize it, and we're definitely not going to, follow me, we're not going to let Dorman or anybody else trivialize Asiatics or so-called quote-unquote African Americans exposure and embracing of Islam to a fascination with Orientalism. See? Because that's what he's implying in the paragraph.
Yes, sir.
All right. For illustrations, so he says, for illustrations from the Prince and the Prophet documenting the American infatuation
with Islam.
You see?
The American infatuation.
So what you have here, once again, and am I trying to demonize Jacob Dorman? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No.
You know, what we call European privilege or quote unquote white privilege is something that all Europeans are infected with, regardless of whether they're considered good people, bad people, or whatever. It has nothing to do. It's not a moral judgment. So we're not demonizing Jacob Dorman. We are pointing out this tendency of, I'm going to tell you, dark people, what you're really into. See that? See?
What makes it, and now we gotta ask what makes you an authority.
well, that goes back to the whole, Well, anyway, I'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Primary sources documenting the life of Noble Drew Ali, the man who now you listen. For primary sources documenting the life of Noble Drew Ali, the man who founded not just the Black Muslim. Stop right there. Did he do that? No. He did not found what. See, they didn't want to say Black Muslims. They're speaking about the Nation of Islam. Did Prophet Noble Drew Ali found the Nation of Islam? No. All right. But the first Muslim mass movement in America. He doesn't name the organization. Interesting. See?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So, again, we're in a thought organization. So we understand that a lot of times a whole bunch is conveyed in what's not said. All right, let's scroll down.
Whoa.
So you see the flyer, and then
you see this right here,
right? What they call
Buffalo Bills, Wild West, and the Congress of Rough Riders of the world.
Right, what they call Circus Arabs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then in the paragraph below, this is what Dorman has to say. Buffalo Bills, Wild West, and many circuses featured Arab equestrians performing jaw-dropping feats on the world's finest horses, Arabians whose bloodlines flowed through today's thoroughbreds. Their presence brought visions from the Arabian Nights to life and exposed Americans and Europeans in big cities and small towns alike to people who are not just presented, listen to this, people who are not just presented as Moors, but as Muslims. So what's the implication? They're masquerading and playing dress up.
Yes.
All right. Performers came from Morocco, Egypt, Syria. Stop right there. Well, if they came from Morocco, Egypt, and Syria, how are you saying they're just being presented as Moors and Muslims when that's in fact what they were? All right. When they weren't wowing crowds with their skill and bravery, they could often be viewed by the public performing Muslim prayers between shows. Okay, what do we see here? And this is a legitimate observation, that you had actual Muslims from Morocco, Egypt, Syria, other places that were what? Performing in America and making money. All right. Okay. So now follow me, because this is the narrative in which he's trying to push his theory. Right? What is the narrative? Here we go. But they oversimplify it. Prophet Noble Drew Ali learned all of what he learned as a circus performer. That's the narrative that they want to push. Now, can we discount 100% that there was exposure or could have been exposure of Islam by this avenue? No, of course not.
No, we can't.
All right, cool. Let's continue. Bedouin troop of Arabs, again, the whole narrative of, oh yeah, well, you had Muslims here, but they were circus performers. You see, this is the reinforcement. This is the reinforcement of the narrative. In 1886, ad for the Abdallah bin Said Bedouin troops of Arabs, showing their tumbling, leaping, rifle twirling, and pyramid building. The Said troop featured 4 Hajis who had made pilgrimage to Mecca, 3 Alis, and at least 2 acrobats that would go on to lead their own troops, including Ambak Ali and Hassan bin Ali. Barnum Circus, 1886 route book. Okay, cool. Again, more more evident, more what? Leading with a circumstantial evidence, a body of circumstantial evidence to push a particular narrative. Let me repeat that. Leading with a body of circumstantial evidence to push a particular narrative. Okay, let's continue. Barnum Bailey, blah, blah, blah. All right. A lithograph from the Barnum Bailey Circus showing one of the many troops of Arab acrobats and equestrians who were a mainstay of American and European circuses at the end of the 19th century. All right, cool. We get it. Again, let's move down. And another one. Hassan Ben Ali's Moorish Caravan, part of the Sells Brothers Circus in 1893. Such displays not only commodified Moorish Muslim identities with performers who would have been considered black in the U.S., but also made a show of Muslim religious acts, in this case, the Hajj. Here, now we see him reaching to make the direct connection. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
He's reaching now. Okay, so he says, such displays not only commodified Moorish Muslim identities with performers who would have been considered black in the U.S. Stop. What is he saying? What are those words really saying? Those were black guys masquerading as Arabs and Muslims. That's what he's saying. Those were quote unquote black men that were appropriating Muslim or Muslim or Islamic or Moorish identity. That's what he's saying. You see it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, for those of you that want better context on this whole quote unquote black/Arab thing, please get our good brother, Dr. Tariq Berry's book, The Unknown Arabs. Please avail yourself, which is it's online and it's free. Any of the dozens of scientific papers or peer-reviewed papers our sister Dana Marnici has written on the topic. Arab is a language group. It is not a race. Let me repeat. Arab is a language group. It is not a race. Okay? That's it. And Arab, in the very technical sense of the word, is someone who speaks the Arabic language.
Yes, sir.
See, the European psychology does the divide and conquer thing and says, oh, Arabs enslaved black people. That's like saying Tanzanians enslaved Somalians, or Tanzanians enslaved people of the former Songhai Empire, which happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But both sides would be considered in America by America's social standards what? Black. See how that works?
Yes.
All right, let's continue. Walter Brister's old Kentucky home.
Oh, man.
So let's just stop. First of all, let's just stop. Can't you see the leap in logic already?
Oh, bro.
Can't you see the leap already?
Yes. He jumped out.
He begins with, yes, there were people that by American standards would be called black that were working in the circus under Islamic names and under Islamic/Moorish identity. See? Then what does he do? He points to an individual that he can prove was in one of these circuses. See it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's continue. The Woodlawn Wang Doodles. The Black Juvenile Band. Stop. Yeah. You see what happened there?
Yeah, the Black Juvenile Band.
Look at the flyer, bro.
Yeah,
the original Pickaninny Band, organized by Professor J.H. Brister, especially for in Old Kentucky, and directed by Master Walter Brister, the youngest band master in the world.
So who is J.H. Brister in
reference to
Walter Brister?
Who knows?
Nobody.
But you see the leap.
Yeah.
Mr. Dorman first paints a particular narrative that he's trying to convince you of. Then he points to someone that he could definitively prove fits that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next step is to say that this man is our prophet. All right. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it says, note diminutive band leader Walter Brister holding a coronet. The show was so successful that it spawned more than a dozen imitators. Became the most popular American play of all time by World War I. And was made into a movie 4 times. Its most popular feature was a kid band led for the first 5 years of its run by cornet player Brister. So when young Louis Armstrong picked up a horn at the New Orleans Colored Waifs home in 1910, he was sliding into a musical role pioneered by Walter Brister.
1910.
Right. The horse race scene from the show in Old Kentucky, which used real racehorses galloping on a mechanical treadmill. Note the black jockeys and the black boys turning capers on the side. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Now look, the Muslim Midway. Brister was on Broadway in 1893, but the Midway of Chicago's Columbian Exhibition was a critical site for transmitting American. Here we go. He said it was a critical site for transmitting American fascination with the Islamic Orient. It was also where members of the U.S. Secret Society, the Shriners, or the nobles of the ancient Arabic order, the nobles of the Mystic Shrine, passed their rituals to 13 African-American Freemasons led by John George Jones. Now, what he's about to say next, you, brother, you already know. You're a traveling man. You already know, right? All right. But what he's about to say next is something that's been repeated for decades, and it's wrong. But since it's been repeated for so long, people just presume it to be correct.
Yes, sir.
Let's read it. Noble Drew Ali would take his title, his fez, and many other attributes from the Shriners. That's a lie.
A big one.
Come on.
A big one.
That's a lie.
Yeah. Big one.
A big one. But we know it to be. But outsiders don't. You know why outsiders don't? Because this is America, and when they see a fez, they associate it with who? A fraternal organization.
Right.
Right. See?
Right.
All right.
Right.
See? That only flies by the ignorance in association. See?
Yes, sir.
All right. Then it says, and many other attributes from the Shriners whose secret initiation rituals centered on the early history of Islam and the life of Prophet Muhammad. Shriners swore a Muslim's oath to Allah, the God of the Arab, Muslim, and Muhammad, and they used Muslim greetings such as Assalamu alaikum and alaikum assalam. Okay, cool. Do we use that in war sign symbol of America?
No, sir.
All right.
Not at all.
Right. All right. Let's look at this. Scroll down on the right. That picture on the right.
Right.
3 boys who performed as part of the Street in Cairo exhibit at the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition Midway.
Right.
Listen to this. He has to admit this. Many of the Arab and Muslim performers would have been considered what? Black in American racial terms. See?
Now you got to tell the truth.
Absolutely.
Now you got to tell the truth.
Right. Right. All right. Enough of this. Let's scroll down further because I think you all starting. I want to get to the meat of this whole thing. Keep going. Pawnee Bill's Wild West and Wild East. That's where we want to get. All right. From 1898 to 1900, Walter Brister performed a new role as Hindu wonder worker Arma Sotanki in the Pawnee Bill Wild West show. And he was joined by Eva Alexander, who was also from the Kentucky side of the Cincinnati area. They married in Cincinnati on August 18th, 1900. All right. You see these pictures?
Yeah.
So, the middle picture, Arma Sotanki, Walter Brister. This is what Jacob Dorman is saying. Walter Brister, as he appeared in the Pawnee Bill Wild West show Root Book in 1899. And then look to the right. Walter Brister in the Pawnee Bill Wild West Root Book in 1900. These root books are available through Illinois State University. I need everyone watching to pay very close attention to the picture on the right. Brother, are you able to pull up the close-up picture I sent you of Prophet Noble Drew Ali?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now. Can you see that?
No, we don't see it yet, brother. And I wish there was a way where you could do a side-by-side contrast. There might be a way. Hold on.
It might be a way. Hold on.
There might be a way to do it.
Let me see. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go here. Can you see it?
Nah, I don't see it.
Let me go share my screen again. I'm hit the share screen again. You talking about that one?
There you go. There you go. So, I'm about to send you pictures from Jacob Dorman's page, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to send them to you. Okay. So, when we spoke with Jacob Dorman and he gave us this whole rundown, we're waiting to hear the connection. It's like, okay, yeah, we're familiar with this period in time where it was, American. What we mean by America, we mean European Americans with this Orientalist fascination, And what were Asiatics doing? Capitalizing off the European fascination. See?
Yes, sir.
That's what was happening. We know this is a common thing. But so we were waiting on, well, sir, where's your evidence? We want to see the evidence. How can you say, where's the evidence that Walter Brister was Noble Drew Ali? Do you see the picture, the two pictures I just sent you, brother?
We can go to them right now.
Can you post them up?
Yes, sir.
All right, moment.
Yes, sir. This picture? Can you see it?
Not that one. There were two I just sent you. I just sent them to you just now.
You sent to the email?
I sent them to your Facebook inbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna send them right over there. Give me just a second.
Yes, sir. So while he's pulling them up, I'll just speak to the audience, to the viewers. Jacob Dorman, when we asked him, where is your solid proof linking Walter Brister to Noble Drew Ali, saying that they're one and the same? You know what he said it was, brother?
What's that?
Walter Brister has a mole on his nose. And Noble Drew Ali had a mole on his nose. Brother, I'm telling you, that's exactly what he said. His whole theory is based on an alleged mole, brother.
And we finna pull these.
Please pull them up.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. We finna do it right now.
And while you're doing it, brother, as you had pointed out before, there's a lot of, vitriol in the Moorish movement about this book, where people want to tar and feather Jacob Dorman and this, that, and the third. Listen, respectfully, and I respect, brother, what you said about Jacob Dorman. I do.
Yes, sir.
But now here's the but see, I know you and I know your heart, brother, right?
Right.
A lot of the people that want to tar and feather Jacob Dorman never read the book.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They never read the book. See? They
No.
don't like what Jacob Dorman is saying because it's Jacob Dorman saying it.
Right.
See? Not because they know what he was saying.
But beloved, guess
Yes,
what
sir.
happened? Guess
Yes,
what
sir.
happened?
Go ahead.
What happens is they lose sense of the prophet when they do such.
Of course, brother.
Can you
But
see that?
you know what else it is, brother? I'm going to see, brother, you're a fighter. You're a boxer, right?
Yes, sir.
Those that are doing that are trying to demonize Jacob Dorman without reading the book, are basically in the stands trying to tell you what punches to throw while you in the ring.
How can you?
Right. Right.
Let's go to the present screen. We're gonna go right here.
Yeah.
Present, share screen, and we're gonna go to this picture right here. Yes, sir. Ain't that the one you're talking about right there?
There you go. Can you blow that up?
Yes, sir. I definitely can.
So on Jacob Dorman's website, he draws an arrow to the alleged mole. All right. But what I want the viewers to do is look at the eyebrow structure, look at the eyelids, look at the nose structure, look at the nostrils, look at the lips. Pull it back a little bit, dear brother. Look at the cheekbone and jawline structure. All right. Now pull up the picture of the prophet with the arrow on it that he put on there.
Oh, he did, didn't he? He did, didn't he? He did this one. No, that's the system.
Oh yeah. We're gonna throw that one up later because you already know that's one of the bombs right there.
This one?
No. Check your Facebook inbox.
Oh, Facebook. All right. I know he didn't do what I think he did. I know I didn't.
You see it?
Brother.
Yo, please show the audience.
We finna show him right now. Oh, man. This is... Man, brother.
Please show the audience.
Bananas. This is bananas, bro.
Yeah.
This is bananas. This is really bananas, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go ahead now. Go back. Go to the inbox. And let me refresh my screen. Okay, here we go.
There it is. Blow it up. All right, that's enough. Totally different cheekbone structure. Totally different nose structure. All right, you guys see it. Come on, people.
Come on, you got it. Come on.
Right.
Can we see it?
Right.
I mean, I think we see it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this? I mean, in the chat, is this the same person? Chat. Let's talk about it. Is it the same person? Because I'm gonna bring one of you up tonight.
Now, scroll. Okay, go back to Jacob Dorman's page, jacobdorman.com.
Okay, let's go here. Yeah. Can you see it?
Nah, it's not up yet.
All right. Let me go here. Move. Share screen. Share screen. Yeah, here we go. Boom. Sure.
All right, scroll down.
Yes, sir.
Nope, the other way, the other way, other way, other way, other way, other way, other way,
Yeah.
other way.
There we go.
No, other way.
Down.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right there.
Right there.
This, no, down. Just below it. Just below it. Right there. There we go. So this is who he calls Princess Sotanki or Eva Brister. Notes that she was the first African-American woman lion tamer at a time when they only had perhaps 3 black male ones. Said Walter appeared in the same show. This is who Jacob Dorman says was the wife of Walter Brister. All right, brother. He also says, now let's fast forward and go ahead of ourselves. He says that Walter Brister later presumed the identity of Noble Drew Ali.
Wow.
And that Walter Brister's wife, Eva Brister, became Sister Pearl Drew Ali.
Wow.
All right. Brother, can you pull up the side-by-side picture that he has on his website?
Yes, sir.
Please pull it up.
Pull that up now.
Please pull it up.
Because it's in my email.
Yes, sir. Please pull that picture up.
Yes, sir. No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. It's going to be here. Not that one. This one.
Pull it up.
You see it?
Not yet.
Okay. Let me go here. Present. Share screen. This one.
All right. Here we go. So, on the left is Eva Brister. On the right, according to Jacob Dorman, that's Eva Brister.
Right.
As Sister Pearl Drew Ali. What's wrong? Now, brother, you tell me what's wrong with this comparison, dear brother. Please.
First and foremost, I ain't even going to talk about the image itself.
Right.
I'm just going to say the sister that's to my right, which probably is to other people's left.
No, it's to the right.
It's to the right. Well, isn't that Jane Lomax-Bey's wife?
Thank you, brother. That's not Sister Pearl. As you pointed out very accurately, first and foremost, they're not the same 2 women. Look at the jawline. Look at the nose.
Right.
Look at the lips. All right.
Yeah.
Those aren't even the same 2 women. First. Secondly,
fact.
Any Moorish American member of the Moorish Science Temple of America knows full well who that is. That is not Sister Pearl. That is Sister Lomax-Bey, the wife of Brother James Lomax-Bey.
Right.
That's what we told Jacob Dorman. Now, going back to that whole white privilege thing, he actually tried to argue with us.
How? How, beloved? How?
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you argue with that, though?
Right. See?
Everybody in the chat, who is that? Who is that?
Exactly.
Who is that?
You see?
Who is that?
Okay, so let's go back to the website, dear brother.
Okay. We're going right back to. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Okay. Screen. We're going to share screen. We back. We back there.
All right. Scroll down a little bit, bro. No, the other way. The other way. The other way. The other way. Right there. Right there. So he's got a flyer up of the Ali brothers, Arabian acrobats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the caption on the right. It says, the future Noble Drew Ali met the Ali brothers, Arabian acrobats in the Pony Bill show. Let's presume that Walter Brister, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's presume that Walter Brister is actually Noble Drew Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Even if Jacob Dorman is right and that Walter Brister is Noble Drew Ali, the mere fact that this Walter Brister met the Ali brothers at a circus, hold on, he's implying that this is where Walter Brister got the name Ali from. Even if we, for argument's sake, say that his theory is true, that's still a reach, isn't it?
Yes.
But haven't we already conclusively proven that Walter Brister is not Noble Drew Ali?
Already.
All right. You see the foolery? But notice what he says in the small print. One of their members was a white diver by the name of Charles Lewis,
man.
who took on the name Charlie Lewis Ali, showing that the Ali surname could be assumed by show business people.
Brother.
All right.
Brother. So basically what he's saying is Drew Ali was a fraud.
Brother, but he can't even conclusively say that. He said it could be.
That's what he's saying.
That's it. That's it.
Brother.
That's it. All right, bro. Scroll down to the bottom. I mean, let's go to the next page.
Let's go to the next.
So scroll down to the bottom and hit next page.
Okay.
All right. Keep scrolling, because this is it. At this point, it's kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
All right, stop. Go back up. Go back up. Right there. Okay. Notice what it says. See the picture on the right?
Right.
Princess Sotanki in a 1913 publicity photo. Note the similarity to Maud Allen's costume, as well as the giant snake winding its way up her abdomen. Sotanki, first of all, look at the picture. Now, we know that that's not Sister Pearl.
We all know that, bro.
Come on, people.
Come on, bro.
All right. We also know Moorish history, don't we?
Yes.
Where did Prophet Drew Ali meet Sister Pearl? In New Jersey or Chicago? All right.
We know what it is.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. You know what Jacob Dorman didn't know as well?
What's that?
What a lot of people in the movement to this day don't know? When Sister Pearl in 1928, 1929, brother, the year the Prophet passed, her membership got transferred from Temple Number 1 to Temple Number 9. Brother, do you know she remained a member of Temple Number 9 until her passing in the early 90s, brother? Do you know we have members in our organization still alive, breathing now that you can call and talk to that knew Sister Pearl?
Gets kind of sticky, don't it?
Yeah, this is when you got, again, that whole privilege thing where you feel like, hey, because I got letters behind my name, I can tell you about your organization.
Who is
The
that?
foolery. It's the foolery, bro. It really is.
Bro, so
But bro, they don't know. They don't know. But guess what? Many of us didn't know either. Many of the people in our movement didn't know that Sister Pearl stayed in the organization and never left it until she passed in the early 90s. See? They didn't know, bro. Shout out to Sister Warner Bay, Grand Sheikahs of Temple number 57 in Lockport, Illinois.
yes, sir.
She knew her. She's still around. Sister Graveshill, Temple 28, Glassboro, New Jersey. She knew her. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sister Pearl never left the movement, people. She remained a member of Temple number 9 under the leadership of Brother C. Kirkman Bey until her passing in the early 90s. It's the truth. Scroll down a little bit, brother. Scroll down a little bit. Right? No, yep, right there. Right there. So he has a collage of different individuals that carried names, Islamic names, and purported to be doctors, scholars, healers, ... Right? We know that this was happening. This was a big thing. And there were a lot of people doing this at that time period. We know that. It's history.
Right. Right.
Now
right.
let's look at what he writes. The Bristers were part of a community of African American, quote unquote, Oriental magicians.
The Brister.
Right. Who frequently plied their trade in circus sideshows and vaudeville theaters. Stop right there. Do we deny that? Absolutely not. But have we already shown that Walter Brister is not and could not have been Prophet Noble Drew Ali?
Yeah, we already have. Yes, sir.
You see? So once again, it's the big reach, see, of trying to turn a bunch of circumstantial evidence surrounding Asiatics that were basically engaged in fulfilling a demand, fulfilling a need. And that need was European fascination with Islamic Orientalism. So they were entertainers, more or less. Right?
Oh.
All right. So, right. So that's a fact. But what he's trying to do is say that because that was a fact, and then you have the emergence in 1913 of a man in Newark, New Jersey, right?
Right.
Calling himself, but here's the crazy part there, brother. Again, that Jacob Dorman overlooked or just didn't see. In 1913 in Newark, New Jersey, did our prophet call himself Noble Drew Ali?
No.
Oh, all right. What did he call himself?
Professor Drew.
Professor Drew, the Egyptian adept student.
Yes, sir.
Jacob Dorman missed that. Okay. See? See?
Yes.
See? He missed that. Right? So,
Oh, man.
right. So, you see what I'm saying? So, he's reaching, trying to connect these two narratives. Now, did Prophet Drew Ali, follow me, in 1913, was he entertaining people?
Yes.
No.
No.
See, that's the thing. He wasn't doing circus performances. He wasn't doing stage demonstrations.
1925 when he started.
But bro, he wasn't even doing it then, to our knowledge. We know that in 1927 at a performance that was organized by him at Unity Hall that he did some of these things. See?
1927, yes, sir.
All right. See? He wasn't doing circus performing or stage performances in 1913 in Newark, New Jersey. What was he? He was doing two major things. He was practicing medicine, of which he got arrested in New Jersey 3 times for. We know that.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And he was teaching at a barbershop. Now, follow me, dear brother, and anybody can research this. What is the one thing that you see, especially in old school? How you see it today in front of barbers? There's a particular symbol that you see in front of a barbershop. Do you know what it is?
That red, blue, and white spiral thing.
Yeah. Do you know where that comes from? You know what that is, brother?
What's that?
Brother, it's a version of the caduceus.
What?
Yes. See, people aren't researching properly. They do it in a scanty way, dear brother. In those days and even earlier, barbers were allowed to perform certain medical procedures, brother.
Whoa.
Why do you think barbers in those days wore white coats?
Whoa.
See? Yeah. So him getting arrested, bro, for practicing medicine without a license, which sounds like harassment, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. All right.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about this.
Everybody hit the like button, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. If y'all, man, hit the like button, man. Like right now. Hit the like button, man. The brother getting it up. Hit the like button right now, man.
So now watch this. One of the things that Dorman touts because of his Brister theory is that Prophet Drew Ali was not born in the state of North Carolina. It says he was born in Kentucky. Right? Okay. Now, how does he explain that? This is where the story gets even crazier. He says that Walter Brister assumed another dead man's identity.
So he faked his death.
So
identity fraud.
Oh my goodness. Right. But
we're talking about a holy prophet, though.
Here's the other part too we're talking about, Mo. Something that something that Jacob Dorman didn't even know. See, another researcher who writes on Moorish stuff, the Moorish movement, his name is Fatih Abdad. He's out of Indonesia. He wrote a paper called Before the Fez. And it's that in that paper where he published, listen close, the draft record of a Thomas Drew.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh.
He published the draft record, and it showed that Thomas Drew's address as 181 Warren Street. That's where the barbershop was. We know that the prophet lived upstairs. Was his name Timothy or was it Thomas? And was he born in North Carolina or Norfolk, Virginia? So even Fatih Abdad is like, oh yeah, they're wrong. They're wrong. He wasn't born in North Carolina. He was born in Norfolk, Virginia, and we can prove it. But they're using the draft or the selective service card as proof. Now, when Jacob Dorman brought, I'm sorry, not Jacob Dorman, when Patrick Bowen brought this to our attention in Ali's Men, we told him two different things. We told him two things in particular. The first thing we said was, okay, Thomas Timothy. So because they postulate that Timothy was an alias, right? So this is what we said. Well, if you're asserting that Timothy was the alias and Thomas was the real name, then by your own logic, the opposite could be equally true.
Oh.
That Thomas could be the alias. See? If we're going to use their logic.
Yes.
All right. Now.
Because you're assuming the name of a person who ceased to exist.
Now, but we ain't even dealing, brother. I'm not even going to deal with that harebrained, he assumed the identity of a dead man thing. Not even dealing with that. But here's the kicker. Shout out to my assistant Grand Sheik, brother C. Martin Stansel Ill, because he brought this to light. Listen what I'm about to say. Because his whole family, the Cuffey family, is from North Carolina. You know what he told us, brother? Listen to this. And I need everybody to pay very close attention. From the 1800s all the way up to the early 1900s, the state of North Carolina would not register Asiatics or so-called black people. They had to travel to Norfolk, Virginia to get it. See, these are things that Jacob Dorman, Fatih Abdat, and Patrick Bowen didn't know. We had to tell them. See? They don't know, bro. When you don't know, you don't know. But here's the thing. If you don't know, and now this goes to what you said earlier about Jacob Dorman. Follow me. These guys are researchers. They've got grant money behind them, research funds behind them. But we, who don't have that kind of research finance behind us, can easily correct them. Either A, they are shoddy researchers, or B, they already had the narrative written.
The narrative is already written.
You already know. You already know. So let's read this that's on the screen right now, what he says. The Bristers are part of a community of African-American Oriental magicians who frequently plied their trade in circus sideshows and vaudeville theaters. As the Great Migration during the World War I drew thousands of black Southerners to the North, their movement weakened the Southern black theatrical circuit and attracted some of these magicians north. Many of them ministered to migrants with root tonics and healing services as brother, that second part where he says their movement weakened the Southern black theatrical circuit. How? You already have, according to him, a plethora of quote unquote black theatrical performers already entrenched. They're already known. So how was the Great Asiatic Migration North weakening their business? How? So again, bro, he's doing the what happened was. He's doing the dog ate my homework was. You know, that's what he's doing right here. He says many of them ministered to migrants with root tonics and healing services, as Walter Brister, listen to this, would after he and his wife Eva faked his death in Chicago in 1914?
How?
And he began living as his brother, Thomas Drew, aka Professor Drew in Newark, New Jersey.
Right.
Here's a problem with his math, dear brother. See, we have the testimony of the last living member of Canaanite Temple. And he testified that he first met Noble Drew Ali at Dixon's Barbershop in Newark, New Jersey in 1913. So if this Walter Brister character faked his death and then began living as his brother, Thomas Drew, in 1914, you would think that all of the students of this Thomas Drew at the barbershop would have recognized the difference. Don't you think?
Yes, sir.
After learning from the original one for a whole year. Because, listen, viewers, Drew Ali, or at the time, Professor Drew, the Egyptian adept student, taught at 181 Warren Street for 3 years, from 1913 to 1916. We know that we know this is fact. So if there was a switcheroo in 1914, they would have known.
Dissected.
See?
Yes, sir.
Crazy, crazy. Now, moving forward in his book, scroll down. All right. Go up to the title, Building a Mecca and Bucking the Machine in the Chicago of Capone, Big Bill Thompson, and Emperor Insult. Now listen. This is where we had to give Dorman his flowers. Then this is essentially what Ali's men told him after reading and studying his book. His Brister theory was basura. Garbage. Okay? His Brister theory was garbage. But his research on the Chicago machine, elite machine, impeccable. Good research. See, yeah. Good research. Many of us never heard the name Samuel Insult. Many of us never heard. Many of us never, but that there's a reason for that. Samuel Insult was the power even behind Julius Rosenthal. Word is born. Yes. One of the things, and this is where even Jacob Dorman was forced, and he said it to us, he was forced to admire Prophet Drew Ali in this respect from the Chicago years. Why? Because by his own research, a man that he considered to be basically a circus performer and a two-bit hustler up until the Chicago years, made himself in less than 3 years a self-made member of the Chicago elite machine. That impressed Jacob Dorman.
That's in fact what he did.
Of course he did. From the carnal point of view. That's what he did. That's right. Let's look at what he says. Scroll down to the bottom of that picture.
Whoa.
Right there. The first annual convention of the MSTA, October 1928. This was the height of Noble Drew Ali's personal and political power, with anywhere between 7,000 and 15,000 members, alliances with Chicago's elite, like the banker Jesse Benga and the politician Oscar Stanton DePriest, and an array of profitable businesses that made him a very rich man, principally the wholesaling of medicine made from roots. Let's stop right there. He's still kind of trivializing the prophet's business. We ask as a trivia question to our members, what was the prophet's job in Chicago? What was his job? How do you make money? See,
Yeah.
outsiders, and even Jacob Dorman, in what I just read, imply that the prophet used the temple finance to make himself rich.
No.
And we know that that's not true.
Mm-mm.
The prophet owned 2 businesses. Now, listen close. When we say our people own businesses because of our low level of esteem for ourselves and our own people,
Mm-hmm.
we start thinking mom and pop shops, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, the prophet owned the Moorish Listen to this. The prophet owned the Moorish Manufacturing Company. Dear brother, all you got to do is get original or digitized copies of the Moorish Guide newspaper of that day to see that not only did the Moorish Manufacturing Company own buildings to process the prophet's products, oil, tea, and compound, package them, and then drive them, he had a team of salespeople, brother.
Yes.
Oh, it was a legitimate business.
Yes.
See?
Yes, sir. Facts.
That's the truth. He had the Moorish cafeteria service.
Yeah, the Moorish Guide newspaper.
There you go. See? There you go.
The prophet was not a local joker.
Not at all, brother. Not at all. Scroll down to the next picture, bro.
They be playing.
Yeah, they do. Stop. All right, so let's look at some of the people in this picture.
Yeah, who it is?
So you see the prophet in the center.
Right here.
You see on his right, on his left, which would be to the viewer's right. Y'all know who that is? Oscar the Priest. Who is Oscar the Priest? Do you all know that Oscar the Priest was a shot caller in Chicago on the South Side as early as 1914? Yes, he was. Because of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moors in that year, 1928, which was an election year, Oscar the Priest became the first one of our people to be elected to United States Congress since Reconstruction. That is actual fact history. That is why you see him there with the prophet. Because if it wasn't for the vote block that the prophet put together, he wouldn't have got into office. Now, to the prophet's right and the viewer's left, that's another man. That man is Jesse Binga, B-I-N-G-A. Jesse Binga was the owner and founder of Binga State Bank. Jesse Binga, at the first convention, told the Moors that he was the closest man to the prophet on the outside of the organization. All right. At the bottom right of the picture, that is the prophet's attorney, Aaron Payne Eel, the first Supreme Grand Business Manager on the Supreme Grand Council. So we don't have to go any further. The prophet had heavy hitters and shot callers around him. Now, these men were men of letters, highly educated and highly connected. Right? These type of people don't sit down with powerless people or unintelligent people, do they?
No.
All right. So the question people have to ask themselves, what were these men doing with this man if he was a shyster and a circus performer?
I guess they say he tricked them too.
Brother, he would have to be a super duper trickster to trick the elite in that city.
Thank you.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This and again, Jacob Dorman, because he's a researcher. See, in this history, because the prophet was so outside with it and so political with it, it's easy to research. He ain't got to make stuff up. He doesn't have to pass on fantastic stories as if they're true. See? The Chicago history is easily researched. So he had no choice, Jacob Dorman that is, but to be highly impressed. See? Look at what he says at the bottom of this picture. I'll read it. Prophet Noble Drew Ali seated at the October 1928 convention between leading South Side politicians. Lewis B. Anderson. Lewis B. Anderson he got that wrong. That's Jesse Benga on his side. That's not Lewis Anderson. Okay? And Oscar the Priest. Although Lewis B. Anderson was on the prophet's team. City attorney and Thompson machine member Aaron Payne is seated at bottom right. The MSTA attracted an extraordinary number of the South Side's most elite and powerful African Americans among its members and well-wishers, which is completely exceptional for an alternative. Listen to what he says. He says it's completely exceptional. In other words, it's totally out of the ordinary for an alternative religious movement, and testifies to how deeply ingrained were positive associations with Islam through sources as varied as there he goes again, trying to tie it to this fascination with Orientalism. That's not why these politicians were next to the prophet. You know how we know? I'm going to quote one of the warnings that proves it. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said this. He said, I'm glad to know that there are few faithful Moors among you, and I would desire for you to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me now by those on this side of the nation that claimed it was only a joke and unreal, until they heard from the government officials in the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens. In other words, what was he saying? He was like, I got these politicians, these other guys around me that saw that it was a cool political hustle. They didn't believe this Moorish thing until the first convention, and they saw government officials and other people. You know who those other people were? Members of the Moroccan nationalist resistance movement. Old Morocco were there. See? That's when they said, oh, wow, this ain't just some cool political hustle. He was really running it, and we were just running around in it. So they were not mesmerized by Islamic Orientalism. They didn't even believe it. In this part, Jacob Dorman is clearly grasping for straws. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Man.
See?
You're paying, bro. Keep going. Keep going.
So let's finish what he says. But now this part is solid. But as the Chicago machine teetered in 1928, what does he mean by the machine? The elite.
Yeah,
the elite. And what he means more specifically is the prophet's position in that machine.
Mm-hmm.
But as the Chicago machine teetered in 1928, strife inside the MSTA led to murder and put the prophet on the wrong side of the machine. That's true. That's easily proven. Prior to the murder of Claude Green, the Chicago Defender newspaper, which was the media arm of the elite on the South Side, they wrote sweetheart articles on the prophet. They loved the prophet. The moment that happened, and then the prophet got arrested along with 47 plus other members of the organization, they started putting out hit piece after hit piece after hit piece on the prophet. See? All right, let's scroll down. Well, you know what, brother, we can end it right here because there, I mean, you know, we could do a part 2 because again, like I said, the Chicago history related to the prophet is very public. So for a researcher like Jacob Dorman, it's very easy to put the pieces together. See?
Yes.
Now what? Now his whole, like I said, his whole Walter Brister thing was a bunch of nonsense.
Yes, sir.
And that was crazy. But you know what Jacob Dorman needed, brother?
Yes, sir.
He desperately needed people that were considered authorities in the Moorish movement to run with his Walter Brister theory. That's why he came to Ali's men.
So I'm gonna say we you've already showed the inconsistencies.
Yeah, it's too easy. But dear brother, it's easy for us, not just because we're researchers, we're a research team.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to us because we strive to be faithful members in the prophet's movement.
Yes, sir.
Brother, come on, bro. You know, come on.
Yes,
you ain't got to be a scholar. When you look at that picture of so-called Princess Sotanki, Eva Brister, and him trying to say that that's Prophet Drew Ali's wife, and is using a picture of Sister Lomax Bey, you just killed all of your scholarly credibility.
How about you killed your scholarly credibility when you used a picture of a Walter Brister?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Brother, let me tell you, we literally were looking at him like we had the wah face. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Come on.
Hey, listen, brother. When I read the book,
yes,
I literally had that face the whole book. Like, really.
Right.
And everybody in the chat, anybody want to come up and ask questions? I'll put the link in the chat.
Please,
absolutely. I'll put the link in the chat right now. And if you want to come up, you hit the link, and we can talk. We can talk.
Absolutely.
This is something I ain't never did, brother. So,
right.
Link in the chat. Link in the chat. Link in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Hit the link. Hit the link. Do you have questions? You want to build with the brother Sharif Anael-Bey?
Yeah.
Hit the link. It's in the chat.
Yeah, please. Any questions too? You know.
Any questions?
Yeah. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah.
You know what? You know what, Mo?
What's that?
You know, sometimes when you certain demonstrations get a lot, you know, I don't got no questions. I don't got no questions.
Yeah. It's, and you know, and the other part too is this. There's some people, and this is what it is. There's some people that supported Dorman's theory because they wanted it to be true. They wanted it to be true, brother. See?
Hey, brother Damien Hayes. It was that Damien Hayes. Why don't you come? Why don't you hit the link, brother Damien Hayes? Hit the link.
What's his question?
His question is spirit and truth, doctrine and culture, history and information? I really don't know, you know, what he's saying. Is spirit and truth, doctrine and culture, ? History and information, ?
Yeah,
Brother,
I don't quite
this hit,
understand what he's asking.
Brother Damien, hit the link. I just shared in the chat. Hit the link and come up and
Yeah,
ask your question.
yeah,
I gladly bring you up.
right.
And that goes for anybody else.
Absolutely.
Anybody who had a question, come on.
And let's just say this too. You know, we're Moorish American Muslims and we're students of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, I have to explain that because there's a lot of other people that say the same thing, but display the character of something else. So let me say this. As students of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and believers in these teachings and these instructions, when our good brother is inviting people on and stage to ask a question, it is not confrontational, dear brother. You're not getting invited to the smoking section. You know what I'm saying?
We'll bring up Brother Tyree Wilson Bay.
He
Did
said, "Did
Brother
Brother Lomax
Lomax
Bey's wife remain in the temple?" No, sir. The answer to that is no. No, she didn't. Brother Lomax Bey, since he brings it up, that's a good question. Brother Lomax Bey is a key, pivotal figure in Islam in America as it relates to our people. But how is the question, right? We know in 1929, his title of Grand Governor was discharged and the Prophet considered him to only be a member. And then very, very shortly after that, he basically had to get up out of Detroit. I'll just leave it at that. Not because the Prophet ordered anything. We're not playing those games, right? But he had to get out of Detroit because he kept money that was allotted to Temple Number 4, which means it was the Prophet's money. Now, one thing I will say, shout out to Patrick Bowen. Patrick Bowen actually got the document in his research. The Prophet filed an injunction in court against Lomax Bey for that money. That's the truth. Lomax Bey took off with that money, right? Lomax Bey later got up out of the country and went to Turkey under the name Ali Muhammad Bey. He then represented himself to Mustafa Kemal, the leader of Turkey, he said he was the leader of 20,000 Negro Muslims in the United States. And he said, if you support me, right, in my effort to lead these 20, what was he trying to do? He was trying to continue what he tried to do against the Prophet. What was he trying to do against the Prophet? Because initially, this is what happened not long after the first convention. When the Prophet said, they wasted no time to try to disqualify me so they themselves could take control of the situation. One of the first things they were trying to do when the Prophet had his office at Unity Hall, they tried to divert the Prophet's mail away from Unity Hall. And then they tried to break up the organization. When that didn't work, they had a plan to try to take control of the influence of the larger temples, Temple Number 4 in Detroit being one of them, to try to break away from the Prophet and start their own organization. That is why Lomax Bey, in that one special meeting in Detroit, threw his hands up and said, "Look at me, I will guide you through." And he said, no more of our money is going to Home Office, in front of 1,500 members, and the Prophet was present. It was Lomax Bey then immediately after that chased the Prophet around the temple with a knife. See? So anyway, fast forward, he goes to Ataturk, Mustafa Kemal, tries to get assistance for trying to get his thing off the ground. Ataturk basically says, no, but I will give you this little hut, this little home, and I think like a couple cows or something like that. He took his family, to answer to Brother Wilson Bey's question. His wife and his children were with him in Turkey. They were destitute after that. They had to literally sell books and dictionaries just to eat. This is the truth. There's newspaper articles on this. There's actual newspaper articles that you can Google and see this stuff. He finally comes back to the United States. He was representing, listen what he was doing when he was calling himself Ali Muhammad Bey. He told Mustafa, Kamal that those followers of his were Turkish Americans. Yes. He comes back to the United States under the name Professor Izz-al-Din. Izz-al-Din. He first stops in New York City.
Professor.
There was, and at that time, we're talking 1934, 1935. There was a Temple 41 and a Temple 23 in Harlem, New York. The very first quote-unquote African-American quote-unquote Orthodox Islamic organizations were those two temples. They got flipped by Professor Izz-al-Din, a.k.a. Lomax Bey. He flipped them. Yep.
The early version of the American Muslim mission.
Straight like that.
It started way back then, and it was to offset the prophet's word, bro.
Yes. Who better than somebody that knew the prophet's work?
Listen here, brother.
Yeah.
If one didn't grab from this one, this like, especially with me being, schooled,
yes,
and learned in
yes,
the history of Islam in America,
yes,
in the time frame that this was going on,
right,
beloved,
right. Right, brother. Exactly. Exactly.
Bro, this
Yes.
is very,
ain't this crazy, brother?
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
There's so much history that many of us don't know. And so many connecting things that we don't know.
And if one don't realize he was man.
Yeah, brother.
Bro. And I've seen certain particular groups hold a brother up.
Yes. Yes. But I get it. You know what I mean?
I don't get it.
Well, I get it from their perspective. That's why I say that. Okay. Yeah. I get it from their perspective because you got many of our people that will say that, okay, the prophet doesn't teach real Islam, and that's not real Islam. The Moorish side of Central America doesn't teach real Islam, and they don't practice real Islam. So I get it.
Right.
I get it. Professor Izz-al-Din, right? Listen to this. You ready? From somebody that I know, another scholar out of Detroit, Michigan, right? This is what he wrote about it because he's researched extensively on Professor Izz-al-Din, Lomax Bey. They consider him a hero. So here's what he says. To these men influenced the foremost among the indigenous American-born pioneers of Islam in America. Ustad Muhammad Izz-al-Din, or Professor Izz-al-Din, who himself adopted a Hamitic Arab nationality and encouraged the same for those among the descendants of enslaved blacks who renounced the cultural hegemony of whites in America. He attempted to form a masjid in Detroit in 1929. You hear what I just said?
Yes, I did.
In 1929, you heard that?
Yes.
And then it says he was stopped due to opposition. Come on, man. We know what it was. I already told you all. We got them. Any member of the Moorish Science of America who's worth half their salt knows exactly what he's talking about. He tried to flip temple number 4. Okay. See? I don't care in anybody's book. Is that honorable?
No.
All right. So look, so our brother, when he says he attempted to form a masjid in Detroit in 1929, no, it's not quite right. All right. He was being deceitful. Okay. Then it says, however, once he formed the Adinu Allahi Universal Arabic Association in 1938 as a national organization, he did return to Detroit and form a chapter of it in the 1940s. Right? Yeah.
Here go a question, bro.
Another question?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Do we know what kind of things that the people, the prophet, and the Moors helped get elected did during their time in office for the betterment of our people?
Do we know what kind of things that the people, the prophet, and Moors helped get elected did? Do we know what they did in terms of support? Okay, I think I understand what the brother's saying.
Yes.
Right? Well, there's a number of things that we know about during that time period, right? And again, remember, you got to remember that time period, the prophet passed the year after that election year.
Yes, sir.
And then the movement fell into disarray, right? So you got to look at the political. Now, here's the other part too, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said this, and I'm paraphrasing. He said that leaders, he said it's very easy for leaders, right, to destroy the influence of the organization by the public seeing their wrongdoing. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Well, guess what, people? Who understands that better than a politician? Get it?
Oh my God. Yes,
right.
Sir.
So what do you think happened with the elite that supported the organization and the politicians that supported the organization when Claude Green was murdered and the prophet got arrested? What do you think they did? They made a big distance between themselves and the organization.
Yeah.
All right.
And they did whatever they did. They did whatever they could do to make the organization lose its influence.
Well, that's what they did. By withdrawing their support and withdrawing their connection, that's what happened.
Exactly.
See it?
Yes, sir. We have another question.
Go ahead.
Who are the political candidates that the MST support today?
Good question. Good question. But the answer you may not like. And here we go. That's a very good question. But follow me. The question implies playing the political game backwards. That's not how the political game is played. And that's definitely not how the prophet played it. So let's go over how the prophet played it. The prophet did one thing first: organize. What do you organize? How do you organize? You organize based on common cultural and historical background. We are descendants of Moroccans born in America. And then common American experience. So the first thing is you organize. What did the prophet say? We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in 1925. That's his own words.
Exactly.
All right. So the first thing you do is you organize, and you organize based on a commonality, national identity, common experience.
Right.
So when we all come together and we all have a common background and common issues, it just makes sense that we G up to address our issues, right? And what do I mean by G up? We G up, in other words, we take our collective power and aim it at our common issues so that we can change the social landscape in our benefit. Well, how do you change the social landscape in the American system? In the political process. That's how it's done. That's why the prophet said it's not money that make a man, it's free national standards, your issues, and power, the voting weight behind your issues, Mo. So the reason why I said that the person who asked this question, right, is betraying in their question that they don't fully understand how the American system of politics works in the advantage of the people. Because today people play it backwards because they don't know. What they do is they say, okay, Mr. Politician, why should I vote for you? Why should I give you my vote? That's backwards, people. It's backwards. Let's see how the prophet did it. He organized a vote block. In other words, a mass of people, in this case, at least 3,000. We already know that to be true.
Right.
3,000 plus. We're not even talking about those 3,000 registered Muslims that he got registered, but their constituency, family, friends, etc. So that's why we know it was more than 3,000. See? This is how the political game works. So this is what we do: organize those people, educate them on their common issues, and then educate them on a collective agenda. And then you mobilize that agenda by doing what? Oh, we're all going to vote on these issues. And with those issues, you buy the politicians. You don't go to the politician and say, what are you going to do for me? You go to the politician and say, this is what you're going to do. Or like a famous rapper once said, you won't be around next year. That's how it's done.
You won't be around next year.
Fact. That's what that is why the politicians chase the prophet.
Yes,
He
sir.
chase them.
And they chase the bag too.
Straight like that. Oh, hold on. Let's talk about that. Daniel Jackson, who was on the prophet's side, Daniel Jackson was the head of the Republican Party committee. They were paying $200 per person registered. Now let's go back to the Moorish Guide article that says all registering, where it said the 3,000 Muslims on the south side and the west side, the prophet got registered. You do the math.
Man.
Yeah.
So we can't see today what's going on?
Because we ain't studying the prophet, bro.
Mo.
See?
I did put the link in the chat. I kind of figured that's how it would go. See, I get and I'm gonna say this online.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of calls and a lot of messages, this, that, and the fourth.
Right.
And I know who have messaged me, you watching, or you will watch.
Right.
So I'm talking to you. I put this link in the chat so you can come and voice your opinion. Absolutely. And the intentions that you place in my inbox. And sometimes on my comments. But when it's time, can't catch your tongue.
And again, listen, this is how the prophet said it. And we're students of Prophet Noble Drali, and we strive to be good students. I'm not going to say I'm a good student.
Yes, sir.
I'm striving. But that said, the prophet said, communicate it to the ignorant for their instruction. Communicate it to the wise for thine own improvement. Have some guts. How did the Apostle Paul say it in 2 Timothy 2:15? Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Know what you talking about.
Please.
And don't be afraid to come outside and let it get vetted.
So, with that being said, I said I was going to make an announcement, right?
Yes, sir.
So the announcement, I'm gonna get real close to this camera. Bring your debates. We're accepting. Bring them over here. The Let's Think podcast.
Praise the Lord. Let's do it. That's
Come
right.
on. Your debate.
Right.
Yeah, we are down now to have healthy debates.
Praise the Lord.
Come on. Come one. Come on.
But here's the thing. Bring your principles.
Please.
Bring your principles, people.
Leave your ignorance outside the door.
Yeah, bring your principles.
You know. So that's the last thing I'm gonna say.
This was a great show, brother. This was a great coming back, you know.
Yeah, hey yo, brother. And you did exactly what you were supposed to do. And I think everybody who was here in the chat listening to this show got a good earful of why we made this a topic of discussion.
Praise the Lord. That's right.
And our next discussion. Oh man.
Go ahead and tell him.
Listen, our next discussion. I ain't even gonna tell y'all our next discussion. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna talk to y'all about it later. You know what I'm saying? Because this one right here,
yes,
what we got coming. And be ready for the Grand Sheik, Lorenzo Portishead. He's coming with a series.
Praise Allah.
He said he coming with quite a few shows on the same. He's driving home a point. So let's listen. I'm gonna tell y'all this. If you don't think the prophet's spirit is in the land,
word is born. Come on now. Come on now.
I guess you don't know what spirit is and you don't know what land is.
Nope.
And I asked everybody a question. The prophet said that, you know, Allah didn't make a heaven or hell for man, that heaven, earth, and hell all exist within.
That's a fact. What he said, brother.
So what's the earth that exists within? Ooh. And why was Jesus sent to this earth?
All right, that's enough. It's long.
That's enough.
It's
long. It's long. But we finna get out of here. I'm gonna let the brother go.
Wow, bro. Wow.
I keep my mouth shut for a reason.
Wow.
I keep my mouth shut for a reason. And my Grand Sheik told me to get more vocal, so I'm about to get more vocal. As of right now, Sharif teaching, we got brothers like this. You know what I mean? And right. And another question: has Jesus been sent to your earth?
Woo. Bro. Yeah, you said a whole lot with that one. Shout out to my brother R-Web-Bey. I see him in the chat. R-Web-Bey is one of the scholars and members of the think tank and research team Ali's Men. Matter of fact, I want to read his comment. This is what he said. I think people aren't aware how research works. Dorman was going to write this book one way or another. Because of that, praise Allah that he felt it necessary to talk to some Moors beforehand. See?
But guess what? I'm going to teach you, Mr. Jacob Dorman. We're going to teach you. You need to watch this video. You need to watch this podcast right here. We're going to straighten you up. Right. And maybe you'll find it in your heart to straighten out your book.
Yes.
But guess what we're going to do? As Moorish Americans, we're going to keep, and continue to publish our narrative, So,
brother, guess what that's called? That's the constitutionally protected right to freedom of the press. Freedom of the press doesn't mean other people have to tell your story the way you want it told. Freedom of the press means you can tell your own story freely. That's what it means.
But guess what, though?
Yes, sir.
Don't you know you have to study and make yourself approved to even tell the story?
How about that? How about that? How about that?
And you know, I look behind myself and I see these two flags, right?
Yes, sir.
A lot of our brothers and sisters don't even understand why we got two flags.
Ooh, see?
So maybe that'll be one of our next shows.
Yo, bro, let's do it. That's Civics 101, right?
Civics 101. And you know what? I'm dedicated.
Yes, sir.
To, putting the truth and the learning of the great prophet of Ali and propagating the faith of Muhammad in America. I'm like forefront, man.
Bro, we're members of the Prophets organization, members of the Prophets movement. We're here to aid and assist him in that great program, in that magnum opus. That's the great work. One of the brothers during our Holy Day meeting, right, spoke to one of our charges, and that is, as members and as participants in this great work, we have to remove this great sin from the earth.
The sin is hate.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't learned to love instead of hate.
Instead of. Right.
But what does hate encompass, though?
Ooh.
Man, that's another show.
Yeah. I know. Mo, I gotta run, brother, man. I love you, brother, man. But soldiers love for real, Mo. Let's get back to it, bro. You got me amped up.
Let's get back to it. We back. Let's Think Podcast. We back. We'll be back at y'all weekly.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with y'all weekly. And
please like, share, subscribe, tell people about the show. Tell people more coming.
More coming. And Mr. Jacob Dorman, I hope you watch this video. And if you do, tap in with the more.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, brother, man.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.